The world was more connected than ever before. Every phone, every computer, every appliance hummed in synchrony, an endless web of interwoven data streams. But with that connectivity came vulnerability, and few understood this better than Emma Collins. Emma was a senior cybersecurity analyst at CyberShield Solutions, a firm tasked with protecting some of the world's largest organizations. She loved her job, even if it demanded long hours and constant vigilance. Every day brought a new puzzle, a new challenge to outsmart the faceless adversaries lurking in the shadows of the digital realm. It started on an ordinary Tuesday. Emma logged into her workstation and began her usual routine, scanning network activity for anomalies. A spike in traffic caught her attention. At first glance, it seemed like a standard distributed denial of service (DDoS) attack, the kind her team could usually thwart within minutes. But something about this attack was different. The traffic wasn't random. It was coordinated, precise, and strangely erratic. As Emma dug deeper, she realized the attack wasn't just targeting her company. It was hitting critical infrastructure across multiple industries, hospitals, financial institutions, even government agencies. The attackers were exploiting a zero-day vulnerability, a flaw in software that developers hadn't yet discovered or patched. Emma's stomach churned. This was no ordinary cyber attack. Within hours, the consequences were splashed across news headlines. Hospitals were forced to delay surgeries because patient records were inaccessible. Banks reported system outages, freezing millions of accounts. Government agencies were crippled, their communication networks paralyzed. Panic spread like wildfire, reminding Emma of the infamous WannaCry ransomware attack years earlier, only this time the scale was far worse. As the chaos unfolded, Emma's work became her life. She barely left her desk, fueled by caffeine and an unwavering determination to stop the attackers. Her team scrambled to deploy patches and reroute traffic, but the attackers seemed to anticipate every move. It was like playing a game of chess against an opponent who could see every piece on the board. Then the attack turned personal. Late one night, Emma's phone buzzed with a call from her mother. Her father, who was scheduled for heart surgery, had his procedure delayed because the hospital's systems were down. Emma clenched her fists, anger and guilt washing over her. She had spent years fighting to protect strangers from cyber threats, but now the battle was on her doorstep. Fueled by desperation, Emma doubled down. She pored over lines of code, analyzed traffic patterns, and scoured the dark web for clues. It didn't take long to find a name: Shadow Syndicate. The hacker collective had a reputation for orchestrating large-scale attacks and selling stolen data to the highest bidder. But this time, their motive wasn't just profit, it was power. Emma proposed a bold plan. Instead of simply defending against the attacks, her team would go on the offensive. They set up honeypots, decoy systems designed to lure the attackers and gather intelligence. It was a risky move. If the hackers detected the trap, they could escalate their assault. But Emma knew it was their best shot. The honeypots worked. Over the next 48 hours, Emma's team collected critical data, including the locations of the syndicate's command and control servers. Armed with this information, Cyber Shield coordinated with international cybersecurity agencies. In a series of coordinated raids, the servers were seized, and key members of the syndicate were arrested. The immediate threat was neutralized, but the damage was done. The attack had exposed glaring vulnerabilities in the world's digital infrastructure. Governments and corporations vowed to invest more in cybersecurity, and public awareness campaigns urged individuals to take precautions. For Emma, the victory was bittersweet. She had stopped the attackers, but the scars of the battle remained. She thought of her father, whose surgery had been delayed, and the countless others whose lives had been disrupted. Cybersecurity was no longer just her job, it was her mission. Months later, as Emma settled back into her routine, she received a notification: unusual activity detected. She stared at the message, a familiar mix of dread and determination bubbling within her. The fight wasn't over, but she was ready. In the digital battlefield, vigilance was the only way to survive. And somewhere, in a dark corner of the internet, the Shadow Syndicate, or something worse, was waiting to strike again.